What's going on, everybody? I am the Bad Duck, and you are the internet, and welcome back to another movie review. Today we are covering M3GAN, the brand new, I think it's the first movie to come out in 2023, at least in the United States and as a major release. M3GAN was highly anticipated after that first trailer, just based on the fucking dancing scene that happened in that trailer. It's just bad shit, like craziness. It was either gonna be terrible or it is gonna be so fucking good. And well, we're gonna cover that today. M3GAN, like I said earlier, was a 2023 release backed by Blumhouse Studios, who has it's heads or tails whether it's gonna be good or not. They did the Purge movies, they did the new Halloween trilogy, and a few other movies, especially like Insidious, which also this has James Wan's backing with his studio Atomic Monster. First of all, the fact that this movie exists is astounding, just based off the concept alone, because when most people will hear the concept, it sounds like Chucky almost immediately, especially the Child's Play remake that came out in 2019. And fascinating enough, it breaks out of that mold so well and in such a new way. We've seen killer doll movies in the past. We've seen Chucky, we've seen Annabelle, we've seen a ton of other shots at it, especially with like Goosebumps, like fucking what's his name, Slappy. So it's a very, very well explored area of horror, especially. And I'm not knocking this movie for it, because it does it in such a fucking fun way. It's great. Is this movie good? And I'm gonna answer that with an absolutely fucking yes. Rotten Tomatoes currently has this at a 98%, and the way that Rotten Tomatoes works is that it's not based off how well it is, but how many good reviews it got. So like 98% of the reviews that are on Rotten Tomatoes right now is good reviews, like positive good reviews. The 2% is the negative reviews. So I can see that quickly dropping down in a few days, probably down to 85%. I can easily see that happening, just because it might be a worn out subject and it's kind of cliche. Sometimes that's terrible. I think of the Texas Chainsaw remake that happened last year was very cliched and just not like, we've seen this before. M3GAN dives head deep into that. We've seen this before, the cliches, and kind of like runs with them in such a powerful way. M3GAN isn't for everyone. It's very dry humor and very dark, dry humor, and I love that. And that's why I love this movie so much, is that it's just out of pocket, it's gonna do what it does most. And it's also astounding how well this movie has been received, because the three words in when you're releasing a movie to give it an instant oh shit to everyone is that it's a January release, it's a horror movie, and that it's a PG-13 horror movie. All three of those things are terribly set up for every film in the world. The only movies that can survive this first 3 months have been Marvel movies, including Deadpool. This is destroying that narrative, that January is a time for movies to die. It's also destroying that PG-13 movies are terrible and here to die. PG-13 horror has a really bad rap just because it's not as bloody, it can't really delve deep, and it doesn't really swear as much as other horror movies can. But this movie doesn't shy away from its rated R-ness, but it's a lot more scary, according to Blumhouse's chair, Jason Blum, than the rated R cut that they have. I would love to see the rated R cut in a Blu-ray, because I want to see what it looked like compared to the original thing, and if I actually want the PG-13 more than that. But M3GAN destroys it. It's so fucking weird too. There's a scene in the movie where M3GAN just starts singing. There's one time where she does it multiple times throughout the film. I think it's 3 times throughout the film. She sings. So there's this one point where she just starts singing. Me and my girlfriend are sitting in the theater, and we're like, "What the fuck is happening?" But the thing is that we didn't hate it. We loved it. We loved that it was just out of nowhere, because this is what the movie is. It's a wild time to be watching a movie. It's just the most wild shit in the world. And then the second time, she sings Titanium by whoever sings Titanium, and I found it hilarious because this is right after she commits a murder, and the little girl asks if she commits the murder. And then she starts singing Titanium out of nowhere, and it's even funnier because she's made out of titanium alloy. The story of the film is not something to behold. It's quite worn out, but it's not terrible. It's Child's Play, whether the first one or the remake. and I don't fault them for that. Those are very, very good movies, and it's just the framework of what they're using. It's not the whole film, but it's the framework of what they got. So, but it goes into trauma, it goes into parenting, it goes into a bunch of other shit, corporate greed and shit like that. It's just a fun time to be watching a movie. M3GAN is legitimately might become a staple in horror. There's already been sequel talks, I know about that, but just this first movie, she's just something else. Her personality is not much more different than the normal AI goes rogue, but it's more of a sassiness, more of like a I play by my own rules, not your rules bullshit. And I love her for it. It's amazing. I really don't know how they did M3GAN. I don't know if they gave a mask to a short actor or it was mostly CGI. I have no idea. I should probably look that up. But there is some scenes of CGI that kind of look a little wonky, but they're more of like a blink and you miss it moments. It isn't too bad, but overall the movie is great in how it's done. Definitely want to see more of the director and the cast. More importantly, definitely I would love a sequel. It would be, I think it would be more of a batshit time, because this movie just does what it wants to do, and it does it so well that I have to commend it for it. And it does it in such a way where I'm not thrown out of the movie. It's a fun ass movie. Currently it's number 1 in my ranking because it's the only movie I've seen that's coming out in 2023. Dude, it is so much fun if you have the chance, and especially if you're not really into horror and you want to like start getting like dipping your feet into horror. Perfect place to start, honestly, because this movie isn't that scary. It's creepy as shit because the face is kind of just more like that uncanny valley, not because of the CGI mess, just because it's rubber looking and her eyes are a little big and far apart. So, but like, this is a perfect place to start with horror. If you want to start getting into it. But yeah, it's not even that scary. It's actually just more batshit crazy and fun. Definitely has a recommendation from me if you are looking on whether or not you should watch this movie. Definitely for me is a definite watch. It's just so much fun to watch. I'm definitely going to pick up the Blu-ray right away just because I want to watch this as soon as possible, and I might actually go back to the theater just go watch this again because it was just that good. I promise you, if you love dark comedy, if you are into horror, if you're just looking for a good time in a movie theater, M3GAN is definitely the choice to go with, especially with it seems like a pretty stacked first 3 months, randomly enough. Me talking about how cursed the first 3 months are. We got Dungeons & Dragons, we got Shazam, we got M3GAN, we got a few more coming out this month I know of, but I can't remember them currently, that I'm looking forward to. But yeah, definitely keep your eyes out for some other films coming out early this year. Do not be afraid to go to movies for the first 2 months for the first time, I would say probably since 2016. But yeah, M3GAN is just a good time to watch. Definitely has a recommendation for me. But that's going to be all from me from this video, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good night.